Go, go, run over there.
Come on, get him out, get him out. Come on, come on, guys. Stop it. Come on, guys. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, go.
Let's go.
At the beginning, there was a lot of support. You know, we still have the support, but not like we did at the beginning. You know, once we started talking about, you know, advocating for certain gun laws, and that's where we saw the change. That day, I identified her and I made her promise. I mean, I saw her in the operating room. I said, I promise you that I'm going to do whatever I can to make change. And I'm sorry, I apologize I couldn't do it for her. I said that to her, I'm sorry I couldn't do it. You know, we've tried and tried, and these politicians don't change their minds. I mean, and I'm going to say it, I believe they love profit versus life.
I guess they had some special last night about Uvalde 1 year later, and they showed a scene of these police officers coming out after they had finally killed the killer. These police officers came out and were puking on the sidewalk, getting physically ill from what they had just seen. Think about all the surviving children in there, these 8 and 9-year-old children, and what they saw for an hour and 17 minutes.
Day-to-day life, I'm always thinking about it. Even just walking into a restaurant or movie theater and thinking about the closest exits is something that, you know, no child should have to think about, but it's the reality. I'm a survivor of the TV UUC shooting at the Unitarian Church in Knoxville, Tennessee. I was 9 years old. And so about the age that a lot of the people at Uvalde were. So thinking about how the kids are going to adapt growing up with the experience they had, it's super traumatic, and it's something that will always stay with them and affect every single thing that they do in their lives.
I feel like they need to get rid of these assault rifles. Like, seriously, I'm not about somebody who doesn't want guns. You should have your, you know, whatever, but assault rifles? No, we don't need assault rifles. No. If you come in my house and steal me, I'll shoot you with a regular gun, but not a no damn assault rifle. They need to limit that. That's just too much.
I have 20 grandkids, 7 great-grandkids, most of them in school, and we're all worried about their safety because of the liberal gun policies we have in this country. I would ban assault weapons in a minute. When I was a kid, the machine guns were banned, and nobody really cared about it, but they were banned. Then when the NRA got involved and they started looking at the Second Amendment, then everything was off the table, and anybody can own any type of guns they want.
I think it's a little over-exaggerated. That's just my belief. I think that the mental aspect of it, people that have some mental impairment should be restricted, of course, from gun ownership. I think that's the number one thing. Other than that, I think it's okay the way it is. I'm a believer in the gun right to own bear arms, but I definitely believe that we have a huge mental health crisis in this. I mean, a big one, and that is definitely something that needs to be addressed. Stricter laws on that with guns.
Everybody talks about the mental issues. Other countries have the same amount of mental problems as we have. They don't have the problem of guns because they have stricter gun policies.
Banning guns isn't 100% a good idea, but like in places like London, it somehow works. But America, we ain't at that spot. I don't know. There's a different mentality out here, so I would say protect yourself and protect your family, and use guns because, you know, that's our right. as Americans.
You can take one gun away from somebody, but that doesn't mean that the intent behind it or they won't find another way to inflict harm. So controlling guns is one part of it. We do need to have regulation on it, but also, again, providing opportunities and resources for all these communities across the nation.
Someone pulled a gun on my dad in the middle of the highway, and the guy ended up getting arrested and had like an AK in the back and like a few hundred rounds of ammo and stuff. Like, just some people are out there and will pull a gun on you. I personally own guns, but I mean, I keep them pretty safe, and obviously I've gone through the process of getting a background check and buying them in legitimate ways and stuff like that. If they were putting out a law and you could vote on it that they would just come take the guns or you're required to turn them in, I probably would vote against it. If there was a law that said, hey, you need to come in and re-register your weapon and get it notarized, get a psychiatric evaluation done or whatever, like, I'm all for it, I'll come do that.
I lived for a time very close to the Aurora theater that had a shooting. Like, I went to that theater regularly, so that's an uncomfortable thing to be faced with, that it says timing, I'm involved in that. I do think you have a country that you're never going to be able to ban guns. That's not going to work. You can't do that. There's too many people that feel too strongly about it. Can you put some rules in place, like going to get a driver's license and having a car where you have to be insured and you have to register it every year? Yeah, I think that's a reasonable thing associated with something that can kill lots of people quickly. But you certainly can't be like, there's not going to be guns in America. That's anyone trying to get that to happen, it doesn't understand that you're just fighting a losing battle, so stop.
They need to be banned. They need to be banned. I mean, if you've got something that is killing children, the #1 killer of kids, and you can actually just end it, you can end the genocide of our children by banning guns, why wouldn't you do that? We abolished slavery, didn't we? The abolitionists were considered lunatics. They were considered so far off the charts. No, let's regulate, let's do this, let's do that. No, we're going to abolish slavery. And they did. That's why we have the 13th Amendment. I went to pick up one of my kids from school. They went to Bromwell Elementary. There was a person with a gun sitting outside when I went to go pick up. We all had to go duck into all the different stores in Cherry Creek. Luckily, he didn't do anything. He went away. My daughter would have gone to East High School this year. A bunch of her friends go there. 2 kids have died there this year because of guns. 2 teachers have been shot. It's all around us. It is all around us. So even those of us who haven't been shot are traumatized.
This right to own a gun shouldn't supersede anyone's right to live without fear of being blown away at the supermarket.